call us to order here. Can we start with the roll call, please?
Absolutely. Chair Chavez, Vice Chair Selman,
Here.
Member Renahan, Member Eckhoff,
Here.
Member DeCiani,
Here.
and Member Rutledge.
Here.
Great. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes of our regular meeting on Tuesday, June 21st, 2022.
So moved. Second.
Any comments, corrections on that item? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, just briefly under chair remarks, I know Member Chavez is devastated to not be here on her last day. Unfortunately, she got COVID, so she's being a good citizen at home and isolating. I was trying to think of what are some of the things I was most proud of her tenure as chair of this committee. I think we could all talk about the Arts Committee, and that we all know how helpful she was in that and making sure that our partners at Choose DuPage were on board and helping to sort of work in this big collaborative group. She played a major role in that with Member LaPlante. And then our DCVB program, I think this committee was one that instead of trying to figure out where can we fit into ARPA, the challenge was almost how do we limit where we're going to act? Where are we going to be the most surgical and the most impactful? And I think all the effort put into that, getting that ask sort of right size so that it could pass the board and get to our hotels, I think is a real accomplishment for Member Chavez. So I'm sure she'll probably send us some remarks and we'll have them at our next meeting, which is feeling much more not under the weather, but I just wanted to take a moment to thank her for her leadership. Next up is public comment. Anything under public comment?
No.
All right, next up, I can combine our incumbent. All right, I will take a motion to combine items A, B, C, D, E, and F.
Second.
Any questions, comments about combining? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so let me read these all out. So A, incumbent worker training memo for Big Bolt LLC. B, incumbent worker training memo for GCM Inc. C, incumbent worker training memo for Easter Seals. D, incumbent worker training memo for MedTorque. E, incumbent worker training memo Tulex. And F, incumbent worker training memo Trans Chicago Truck Group. We take a motion, motion and a second to approve.
Second.
Any comments, questions, discussion on these items? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Take motions carried. I'll take a motion to combine items A, B, C, and D for travel authorizations.
So moved. Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, they're combined. So let me read them into the record here. A, authorization for overnight travel to Springfield Award winner TBD, Workforce Development Illinois Workforce Partnership Awards Luncheon. And then we have a second one for the career counselor that's going, that's item B. Item C, authorization for overnight travel to Springfield, the executive director for the same luncheon. And D is for the workforce board manager to go to the same luncheon. Take a motion and a second to approve.
Second. Oh, motion, please. Second.
All right, any comments, questions about those travel items? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next up, change orders. I'll take a motion on change order DCP Regional Office of Education. This is to close.
So moved. Second.
Sorry, we haven't had time for coffee yet. Good morning.
Well, I have.
Oh, I'm jealous. All right, any comments or discussion on that item? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, motion carries. B, change order Corporate Lakes Office LLC. This is also to close the PO.
So moved. Second.
Comments, questions?
Shake it up just to keep.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Great, motion carries. C, change order amendment to purchase order 4932-1 serve, issued to Parents Alliance Employment Project for Youth Training
Motion.
Services. So to increase the encumbrance by $56,000 to a new PO of $502,160. We have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. D, change order amendment to purchase order 4931-1 serve, issued to the Parents Alliance Employment Project for Youth Training Services to increase the encumbrance by 24 for a new total PO of $204,484.
Second.
Any comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Next up is our WorkNet update with Lisa. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a few slides here for you this morning, if you want to advance. So just as a reminder, the strategic initiative that I had submitted was under the umbrella of economic recovery, and it's to increase engagement of disconnected residents with either workforce programs and or the local workforce. So 3 things that I'm going to give an update on today. One being the kiosk pilot project. That's part of that career grant that we wrote for and were awarded. The second is our Come On In campaign and the expansion of our offerings at the center. And then the third is the paid internships. You likely recall that big push we did for our work-based learning program. Okay, so here's a couple photos for you to give you an idea of what the kiosks look like. To remind you, we're starting with 3 in the budget. We can go up to 8. And then if they're really successful, we can go beyond that with our formula funds, but we're piloting it right now with 3. On the right side there, you see what the interface is. So essentially the users can get an encapsulation of the services that we offer and the ways that we can help. They can do some basic career exploration. They can view a kind of little mashup success story video that we put together. And then they can also just complete an application directly through the kiosks on location. And it's a touchscreen. There's a keyboard as well to facilitate the completion of the applications.
You have other languages on there?
Not yet.
Okay.
But that being said, we may at some point. It's kind of a work in
Kind of hard to
progress.
get it to match.
Yeah. So these are some photos here of some of the initial locations. So the top right is the Educare childcare early childhood facility in West Chicago. That was where we had initially had it placed. The bottom left, as you can see, is the West Suburban Community Pantry in Woodridge, which to date has been our most successful location. It's getting the most traffic, and we're receiving applications directly through that kiosk, which is great. And then the top left is where the Educare kiosk in West Chicago was relocated to, which is the West Chicago Library. And we also have one in Addison currently at the township office, but that one is likely going to be moving at some point to the library there as well. Other locations, once these came out on social media, we started receiving a lot of community interest. Karen Ayala is interested in having one at the community center. I would like to get one into the probation office or somewhere in the courthouse, and a number of other kind of community organizations as well. So there's a lot of interest there. I'm kind of just waiting to get trial and error, like let's make sure it's working before we invest funds. If they're not garnering, interest, then I hate to kind of start ordering all this tech, but they're really cost effective. I mean, it costs essentially around $2,500 a unit only for the whole thing, signage and all. So that's great. I do want to highlight the fact that these libraries are a factor. This is part of our strategy moving forward for outreach. If you want to advance to the next slide, this is a screenshot from our website right now. So we're doing these Skill Up DuPage info sessions. It's essentially just an orientation of what we can do for people under this new tagline of Skill Up. It's getting a lot of traction in the community. You can see we're doing some virtual, we're doing some at our office, and then there's a slew of libraries on there, and there's more even to come. Great partnerships that we've been developing with all of the libraries. Next slide. So the second thing, like I said, I wanted to update you on is what we're dubbing our Come On In campaign. As you know, we re-upped our lease and we did some renovation to the center and kind of opened things up and expanded in some ways. One of the strategies here is to really leverage community partnerships in a more integrated fashion than we've ever done before. We've always kind of just been WorkNet, and we had our services and that was it. I've been busy reaching out to community partners and having them bring their programming into the center. So we have People's Resource Center, for example, doing every Wednesday afternoon, they do their free digital literacy classes in our office. Home DuPage is doing their financial literacy workshops out of our office. We have a new partnership with what was the Naperville Community Career Center, now the Career and Networking Center. Every Wednesday, they're going to be doing their job club and workshop programming in our office as well. Access DuPage and the health department, for example, are doing a healthcare navigation workshop. So we're really trying to use the space and turn the center into more of a community hub, leveraging the efforts of all of the different, people that are doing similar work out in the community. Other ways that we're using the center, we have employers coming in regularly. Hi, Beth. We had Ace Hardware out just on the 2nd of August. They were on site recruiting. We have Permaseal coming up, number of others being scheduled. Employers are very, very keen on coming in. They're all still in heavy duty recruiting mode. What we're trying to do is really stack the recruiters with other programming that's on the calendar to try to make it worth people's while to put gas in their car and come over to the center. So that's another strategy that we're doing. And then on the right there, you'll see we're also obviously holding our youth program orientations in person in the center. So really trying to get a lot of boosted in-person activity going on at WorkNet. And then the last thing is I did want to circle back on the youth internships. The goal that we had written into the county strategic plan was to have 10 of these established at minimum by November of 2022. We've had 6 placed to date with several more currently in the pipeline. Our first intern actually just completed and was hired. She was working for Americraft as a carpenter intern, and she's been hired on and they're loving it. She's loving it, very successful. The average wage of these internships is $16.40 an hour. We had to boost that up from previous levels due to the fact that you can go just about anywhere and make 15, 16. And the idea of this is that these are not jobs, they're career paths. So you might be able to make that amount of money at, Target or Dunkin' Donuts or wherever, but this is really launching you to increased earning potential over time. We currently have interns working as administrative assistant. That's the young woman on the left there. We have a dental assistant, warehouse order processor. We're working on several others. We have a couple manufacturing going as well. So that's been really successful, and there continues to be a lot of interest. We're getting more youth applications by far this program year compared to last program year, and I think this was a big part of it. So that's my brief update for you, and I would be happy to take any questions anybody has or comments.
What kind of numbers are you initially getting out of the kiosks?
So that food pantry, this is all going to kind of be trial and error, and we're
Wherever
learning as
they're
we
at.
go. Yeah, the food pantry has been the most successful. So for the month of July, and they're still relatively new, the month of July, we had 55 people interact with that particular kiosk, and we're receiving actual applications through that one. The Educare one, because it's a really limited audience and it was only there for a few weeks, we only have maybe 8 to 10 people interact with it. We've now moved that to the library, so we'll see for August. And we have a great partnership with the West Chicago Library. And then the Addison one has been slow also. But what we're thinking is, I think what we're going to start to do is send staff out on, for the Addison one, it's located where unfortunately, the line leaves when people are waiting for the food pantry. So I think we're going to send a staff member out to kind of chat with people and direct them and see if that boosts engagement. I do think that the libraries are going to be a key because they have people there to steer clients to the kiosk.
I would bet too, you're going to see greater engagement after the kids go back to school in the fall, because people are like, I can't do that now. I got,
Yes.
5 kids I got to deal with.
We're planning on doing through the INSPRA, is that the name of it? We're going to be hopefully having a mass communication go out in the digital backpacks for all the school districts, like back to school, back to work, question mark, like if you or somebody needs help re-entering the workforce, contact us kind of thing. I think that that's a huge piece of it.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Lisa?
Well done as always. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Awesome.
you so much. All right, do we have anything under old business? Seeing none, anything under new business? Yeah,
I forgot to mention
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Sorry, new business.
yeah.
We would love to offer up an opportunity for the county board members to come out and see the center. Importantly, forgot to mention that. So we had a couple dates that we were thinking, I don't know if this committee has an opinion on it. We were thinking either Wednesday, the 24th in the morning, maybe like 9 a.m. Or the 31st at 8 a.m. We're trying to work it around when we have assessment testing and things going on so that it's not too, that's not too disruptive to testers.
Which days of the week are those?
Wednesdays, both Wednesdays. I'm not sure if that is viable or not. And if not, we can consult and pick out some other dates and float them past the committee and then perhaps open it up, to the whole county
If
board.
it's agreeable with the committee, could we maybe try the 31st? Because I know we're gonna be trying to seat a new member to replace member Chavez. So I'm hoping that we can give them time to get here, wherever that is, and then they can come meet you. Can we try to hold the 31st date and we'll kind of email with the committee?
Great.
So you email us
Yeah.
and we'll figure that.
That's great. Yeah, we'll work with
Yeah.
you to get that scheduled and communicated.
I just wanted, it's Beth Marquetti. I just wanted to thank your team for coming out. We have quarterly hotel meetings. And Lisa's team has come out to provide resources for our hoteliers who are really struggling with staff right now. So to be educated on what programs they offer has been such a wonderful gift for them. And I hope they're taking advantage. I know right now they're just so overwhelmed. So we're trying to make sure they know that there's resources available in DuPage County for the hotel property. So.
Yeah, thanks for having us out. And there's some neat locations, I think, if I remember right, for where those meetings are held. So always happy to do that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Beth. Anything else under new business? All right, without objection, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.